Attorneys for ex-Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort raising concerns about a 2017 meeting that occurred between top Justice Department officials and Associated Press reporters. Memos revealed those reporters offered FBI agents and DOJ officials a code pertaining to Manafort's storage facility, a possible violation of the criminal justice process. Joining us tonight, I am pleased to say, Victoria Toensing and Joe DiGenova, the founding partners of DiGenova and Toensing law firm. Great to have you both with us, and I know you were impressed, Joe, that I said your last name twice in succession and was brilliantly producing and pronouncing the words. Great to have you here.
Great to be with you.
Let's start with Manafort and the campaign between the Department of Justice, the FBI, and national left-wing media, as I lovingly refer to them.
Oh, Lou, this is the modus operandi for the FBI nowadays. They disclose grand jury information to reporters, which is illegal, in return for the reporters giving them information about their supposed target. We have a client, I'll be really fast about it, Billy Walters, who the FBI, first of all...
Big-time gambler?
And a humanitarian businessman, right, and giving lots of money to charity.
Right.
And the FBI leaked that he and Phil Mickelson, the golfer, were under investigation for insider trading regarding Clorox. It was absolutely false. So not to give up, the FBI comes back and tries to get a member of a board of directors of another company to testify against Billy, and he keeps refusing, saying nothing went on. So what did they do? They squeezed the guy, leaked that the board of directors was under investigation. He lost his job. He became desperate. And of course, after being squeezed, he agreed to testify falsely, albeit falsely, against Billy. As in the words of Alan Dershowitz, he not only sang, he composed.
Right.
And let me just say one other thing, because this is about the ethos.
That is a great line Alan came up with. I love that line.
He did. I adopted it, but I attributed it. One last thing about the Department of Justice ethos, and that is that the U.S. Attorney's Office for New York denied that the leak ever came from them, even though there were emails to prove otherwise, and only when the judge ordered a hearing did they admit it. And then the last thing is they promoted the agent who leaked the grand jury information.
There's also a nice tie-in to that 2017 meeting, which was apparently arranged by Andrew Weissman, pit bull of Robert Mueller's special counsel witch hunt fame.
Yes, and what we now know is that Weissman, who had done this before, and is now recognized widely in the United States among lawyers as one of the most unethical prosecutors in the history of the department. Weissman engineered this meeting between DOJ lawyers and FBI agents and the Associated Press for them to basically share information amongst themselves, including grand jury information, and in order to put pressure on Manafort. We are watching the destruction of the FBI by people actually inside the Mueller investigation like Weissman. This has to stop.
And where are the president's attorneys? Why aren't they raising hell over this stuff? Why in the world would anyone who knows that information from a grand jury is being sent through a conduit that runs straight through the heart of the FBI officialdom to the national left-wing media? I mean, that's a violation of law, as Victoria said.
Yes, absolutely, Lou. And in fact, Manafort's attorneys have asked for a hearing. I actually think the judge is going to grant it. I think there is going to be a hearing. It'll be an opportunity to put Weissman on the witness stand, along with a lot of other FBI and DOJ employees who were involved in setting up these meetings. Remember, the IG report about Strzok and everybody else laid out cold how the FBI had a policy of working with the media to leak information, and these people in the Bureau lied about it to the IG, but they eventually had to admit that it was occurring. It's destroying the Bureau, and it's destroying the Department of Justice, and Chris Wray and Rod Rosenstein will do nothing about it. They're so interested in protecting the institution that they're willing to overlook this type of illegality.
Or their own skin. One or the other.
Oh, it's disgraceful.
When Rod Rosenstein says he feels like it's extortion, when it's oversight from the Congressional Committee, that really says a very frightening thing.
I don't know about you, but I find myself less and less concerned about how Rod Rosenstein feels on any given day. The Mueller probe effectively, it seems to me, may be dead if,
Yes.
and this is an extension, if the Trump attorneys are right, demanding before there's any further discussion with the special counsel that they demonstrate some sort of evidence that there was collusion, some reason to have a further discussion. Your thoughts about the strategy?
There's no doubt the President of the United States enjoys a special status under the law, and in order to interview him for any reason whatsoever, here it's obviously an impeachment investigation. It's not a criminal case.
Right.
There's no evidence that any crime has been committed. So Mueller is trying to interview the President in an impeachment/counterintelligence investigation, and the law is very clear. The President is unavailable for such inquiries and questioning,
nonsense.
and under no circumstances should the President agree to this interview. And if Mueller decides he wants to issue a subpoena, I tell you, Lou, the President's going to win that in the Supreme Court, because Mueller can show no reason why all the evidence that he has hasn't already been obtained from other people.